Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a lore accurate Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2 version of Minsc inside Baldur's Gate 3. So hopefully you enjoy this. Here's Minsc. This is what he looks like when you first recruit him into your party. And these are his stats. Now the reason we're doing this is Minsc already had stats made out in the original Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2. The problem is when you transfer characters across editions, it can be really difficult. So Minsc originally had his wisdom was only a 6, which can be problematic if you were a ranger because they actually rely on that wisdom. So we're going to change the stats around a bit. We're going to try and make this more accurate to what Minsc would play like and feel like in game. And hopefully, Jim Cummings and Matt Mercer approve of this. But we're going to do our best. We might not be able to get 100%, but we're going to do it as well as we can. So first things, Minsc stats do not make sense. In all the stories, Minsc is this big, muscle-bound, great sword-wielding barbarian from the Rashomon Berserker Lodge of Ice Dragon. And having a 12 strength doesn't really make sense like that. And if you look at Minsc, he is essentially a barbarian. When he was first created, barbarians didn't really exist in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, so they made him a ranger, but ranger is actually a subclass of fighter at the time. So Minsc is really a ranger, kind of like how Drizzt is a ranger. It's more of a job title than an actual character class. Because Minsc, in the original game, he could rage, he had all these things. So Minsc is actually a barbarian, but people like him being a ranger. We're going to build him up as a ranger. We're going to do our best, anyway. But what we are going to do is, we're going to start off as a barbarian. Minsc is a Berserker barbarian from the Ice Dragon Lodge in the Rashomon. So, going barbarian makes perfect sense. He flat out says he's a berserker. So this is where we're going to start. And we're going to start barbarian because it gives us a few things. One, his proficiencies are going to be in strength and constitution saving throws as opposed to strength and dexterity saving throws if he was a ranger. He's also going to get some more hit points out of this deal, so it does a lot. Yeah, we're going to pick that, and we're going to change his stats just a little bit. So these are great for a barbarian, but they don't really feel in line with what Minsc's original stats were. Because his original stats were 18, 15, 15, then 8, 6, 9. We can't actually get a 6 in wisdom, but we're going to find a way to cheese this, so it'll be pretty close. So 18, 6, 9. So let's get his stats pretty close. There we go. 17, 15, 15, 8, 8, 9. It's in the ballpark. That's pretty close to what his BG1 stats were. So we're going to go with that. Change his skills over. Let's see. Athletics, stealth good, perception. Yeah, these are all great stats. And he gets animal handling and survival from being a folk hero. So these are in line. There we go. This is Minsc. Level 1, pretty lore accurate, and we're going to build off of this. So, confirm. Yeah, there's Minsc, and some of the other characters I have. So, perfect. Now let's level them up. Awesome. So we're going to take Minsc 4 levels of Barbarian. Now this is to get his feat or ability bonus, and it lines up with what we're going to do with the ranger aspect too. So accept that, not much to do with barbarian. Good. Now it gives you by default the wild heart. We're not going to do that. We're going to take berserker. Minsc flat out says he is a berserker. Says it a lot. So we're going to use that, and they get this enraged throw ability. Now it gives you bonuses to throw stuff on a bonus action. Really cool, but if you follow the stuff, Minsc likes to throw boo, like go for the eyes, boo, go for the eyes. And you can actually use this to throw boo, and I think that's very fitting for this character, and it's actually quite a bit of fun. So we're going to go Berserker. Awesome. Barbarian level 4, he gets his feet. Now, his stats are pretty close, and what we can do is we can pump up his strength, because strength is going to be his main attacking stat. So we're going to pick Tavern Brawler. With Tavern Brawler, you can bump the strength up, and it gives you bonuses to using improvised weapons, say like a miniature giant space hamster, and throwing stuff. So this all feels very in line, Tavern Brawler, so we're going to pick that. and it gets his stats a little bit closer to kind of a more lore accurate Minsc. Alright, and here's where we're going to cut off. Instead of going Barbarian anymore, we're going to go Ranger. People like Minsc as a Ranger, they say he's a Ranger. I don't think it's class-wise it makes sense, but lore-wise, being him having a Ranger sense. So we're going to make it work. Alright, favored enemy. Honestly, these are all really good. They all give you good stuff, like Bounty Hunter gives you proficiency in investigation, and if you use Ensnaring Strike on somebody, they get a disadvantage on that saving throw. Protection from Good and Evil, True Strike, Ranger Knight, Heavy Armor Proficiency, Stalker. These are all really good. And they're all about equally as useful to this character build. I'm going to pick Bounty Hunter because giving them a disadvantage on an Ensnaring Strike is useful. The problem is, when you're raging as a Barbarian, you can't maintain concentration on a spell, and you also can't cast any spells. So these are useful outside of his rage, but that's still a pretty useful thing to do, so I'm going to pick that. Natural Explorer. Beast Tamer seems like it would be, you know, lore accurate, but it's actually not, because I don't ever remember Minsc having a pet or taming animals outside of Boo. So we're going to skip that, but he is from Rashomon. Rashomon is a frozen wasteland, and he's from the Ice Dragon Berserker Lodge. So having resistance to cold kind of seems fitting with this character, and we're going to go with that. Other skill proficiencies, you can get Nature or Insight. I like Insight if he was my main character, because that actually helps with a lot of insight checks during conversation. But you could also pick Nature. That feels very, you know, in line with Minsc being kind of like that Ranger-esque idea, very in tune with the natural world. But pick whatever you like. Awesome. Okay, so next level Ranger, you get to pick spells. The thing is, you're better off picking spells that do not require concentration, and that you don't have to cast inside of combat, because when he's raging, Minsc won't be able to cast them or maintain concentration. They're still good to pick. Ensnaring Strike is great because his Bounty Hunter kind of aligns with this, and outside of rages, this is useful. Also, Hunter's Mark, great to use. Again, you can't use it when he's raging, but outside of that, it's super good to have on. Fighting Style. Now, Rangers do not get Great Weapon Fighting Style. It's off their list. So you can pick Defense. Defense is an excellent one to pick. You're never going to be mad at having a bonus to your armor class. You could also go 2-weapon fighting. I know a lot of people, myself included, built Minsc out in BG2 with Cromfair and the Flail of Ages. Now you can get the Flail of Ages in BG3, which is kind of cool. And you can get a Dwarven Thrower later on, which is pretty close to Cromfair, so you could go that route, but in all the literature and stuff, Minsc always has a great sword. He's a big, great sword wielding, you know, barbarian type guy, so defense is a great choice. Alright, so he gets another spell. We're going to pick Goodberry. Healing is always nice to have. Now, by default it gives you Hunter. We're actually going to pick Gloomstalker, because it gets a lot of other things, like Dread Ambusher, ability to hide, dark vision. This adds a lot into the class because Gloomstalker is very front-loaded. And towards later on, you get Iron Mind with Gloomstalker, I think at level 7, and that helps offset Minsc's low intelligence and wisdom stats. So we're going to pick Gloomstalker. And we don't need to replace any spells right now because these two are still pretty useful. And accept. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to pick another feat. In BG2, Minsc stats were 18, 16, 60 when you first got them, so we're going to pump our stats to make them that. Let's try. Perfect. So now Minsc, right now, is reasonably close to his Baldurs Gate 2 stats as we can make in the moment. Wisdom's still a little bit high, but we're going to fix that. I'm going to show you how to do that in a sec. So we're going to continue on this way. More spells. There's some useful ones here. Enhanced Sleep. Longstrider's a great one to pick. You can just cast this on yourself at the beginning of the day, and he'll just maintain it all day. And it won't go away if Minsc rages, so it's the one I'm going to pick. So, favorite enemy. You get to pick another one. They're all equally as good. Ranger Knight, having heavy armor interferes with some barbarian abilities, but not enough that it would be a problem. So if you find really good heavy armor, and there is some in this game, it's good to throw it on Minsc. I'm just going to pick Ranger Knight. Favorite enemy, let's go Wasteland's Fire. Minsc went through hell, literally. He's been kind of all over. Lore-wise, giving him resistance to fire isn't out of place, and it's super useful in the game because fire is a very common damage type. So resistance to cold and fire is decent to have on pretty much any character. Don't need to change any spells. Okay. Spells. More spells. Pass Without Trace is good outside of Raging. So if he's just sneaking around, I mean, it's good to cast this. So we're going to pick that one. Other options, Spike Growth, decent spell. Silence, also a great spell. You do Enhanced Leap. These all have their uses, even healing. Like outside of combat, it's nice to have a little bit of extra healing. But it's not really going to change your combat tactics, honestly, so just pick whichever spells you want. Go. Right. This is max level, level 12, so don't need to replace any spells, I don't think. I'm satisfied with all those. Feet. You could pump his stats up a little more if you wanted, but Minsc is a barbarian and he wields a great sword, so getting Great Weapon Master is just golden on this character, because it's a -5 to your hits and a +10 to your damage with all your attacks as long as this is toggled on. But barbarians get ability to give themselves advantage on their attacks whenever they want, and that kind of offsets this -5. Because advantage on anything, essentially, mathematically, gives you a +4 to +5 bonus to that roll. So it offsets it perfectly, so Minsc can basically keep this on all the time, and there's no downside. So we're going to pick Great Weapon Master. It also feels in line with Minsc, honestly. Alright, so there's Minsc, max level, level 12. You're level 4 Barbarian, level 8 Gloomstalker. Let's see. Now, the thing is, you can't get his stats. You can't roll a 6. His stats were originally 18, 16, 16, 8, 6, 9. You can't roll a 6, but there is a way to cheese this. If you get this amulet in Act 1, the Sentient Amulet, it's going to take you on a little quest, and it's ultimately going to bring you here, into this tomb, where you need to talk to this person, the spirit's granddaughter. She's dead, spoiler alert, but you can complete the quest.
Here lies Sister Shira Clarwen, date of birth unknown, died 1491 DR.
And 1491 is
granddaughter
the
lies.
canon year here.
Let us bring them back together, Boo.
There.
Darling Shira, faithful to the crying god, long didst I wait, only to find thine empty flesh. Gone thou might be, alas.
So there's the granddaughter's corpse here. He's gonna inhabit this. There, so the spirit has taken over the corpse there. A little morbid, but cool.
Oh, honored Shira, her spirit hath fled, and her body but merely a husk. Swear I did to shed this foul mania and bestow it upon Shira. She was to endure, to suffer, as was her god Ilmata's wont.
Okay, so that's the crux of it there.
Shall it be thou?
So basically this guy was going to pass his curse on to his relative here because she served Ilmater, god of suffering, and he was going to let her suffer with this curse. Anyway, she's dead, can't do it. You can now pick to bear this madness for him. It'll give you a wisdom save. And if you fail those wisdom saves, you permanently lose points to your wisdom. And Minsc, as he's statted out right now, has a really low wisdom. So what you can do is...
Your muscles tingle and your mouth twitches as the laughing madness spreads through you. The madness tugs at your mind, prods in places best left untouched. You feel your wisdom begin to drain.
There you go, it drains your wisdom. So, you do a wisdom save, he gets -1 right now. And he failed miserably! Good job, Minsc, that's what we wanted. Don't need to roll again. I
A
want him to lose that.
lopsided grin stretches your face as the madness saps your wisdom. You giggle, struck by the absurdity of the moment. A spirit hiding inside an amulet has brought you to the body of his granddaughter and possessed it. Outrageous. Ridiculous. Once again, you feel your wisdom draining away. Hilarious. What is it?
And I gotta just give props to Matt Mercer. I love Jim Cummings because the man basically voiced my whole childhood. But Matt Mercer did a great job voicing Minsc here, so props to him. So hopefully he approves of this too, because I'm pretty sure he plays this game. Alright, we're gonna do another wisdom save. Must your senses clear your mind. You will take the madness. Oh, I'm reading this word. But it will not take you. Alright, so we're gonna do another roll. His wisdom went down to 7, so now it's a -2. Hopefully he does not pass. Perfect. Continue.
You've earned Tasha's hideous laughter, and you're all the more foolish for it. Congratulations.
My friend, forgive me, for this mind was not mine own. May laughter be thy gift, never thy curse.
The corpse is an empty husk once more.
Alright, so here's
I am
Minsc.
no longer tickled. He has finished with his laughing. I hope now he can smile. Quietly.
And congrats to you at home too, because look at Minsc's stats. 18, 16, 16, 8, 6, 9. These are exactly his Baldur's Gate 2 stats. So if you want the most lore accurate kind of version of Minsc that you want to play through the game, this is how you accomplish it. And it's kind of fun role-playing the low wisdom because it does like come into play like with saves and in combat and stuff, and it really makes for a fun version of Minsc. You know, there's a Flail of Ages, there's a Dwarven Thrower, and I just gave Minsc the Everburn Blade because I think he looks great with a greatsword, but this is essentially your lore-accurate version of Minsc. And let's not forget... Boo! Boo is awesome. So, Minsc can rage. It's a frenzy rage because he's a berserker. And then he gets enraged throw, so as a bonus action, you can throw an item at a target. He's not raging right now because there's no enemies nearby, but you can still throw things. So, shove, where's the throw button? Engage, why can't I see it? Jump, shove, dash, throw, just right in front of me. Okay, so throw. You can throw Boo. See Boo in his hand right here? Now, with Boo, that's 55, 64. Let's hit Shadowheart.
Evil, fetch justice!
And there's Boo. Yeah, I'm sorry, bud, but... Squeak, squeak!
Sword at my
But this is
side
what you can do with
and
Minsc now.
hamster at hand.
And this is how you'll play him out. He's got his stats. At the start of combat, you go into your rage. Using your bonus action, you can throw Boo, and then you walk in and you use, right here, this Great Weapon Master, and just crank everything. You get plus 10 bonus to all your damage. You can use your Frenzied Strike, I think it's called? Yeah, Frenzied Strike. Yeah. As a bonus action, I think. Not that one. Enraged, no. Here it is. Reckless Attack, that's what it's called. Until the end of your next turn, you have advantage on all attack rolls, but enemies have advantage against you, which is a good thing. So he'll offset that -5 from Great Weapon Master with that advantage, and because enemies have advantage against hitting you, it's kind of like a taunt. You're more likely to get hit from an enemy's attack, so it's more likely they're going to want to hit you. You're giving them a reason to attack Minsc, and he can take it, because he'll be raging, so all the damage is halved because he's resistant to it from the rage, and they're going to want to hit him more. So it's a perfect little tank build to throw on the Reckless Attack and just start wailing on things with the Greatsword. And because he can do this in Rage Throw, he can just also just throw Boo. So he's got a fun little ranged attack.
The eyes, Boo!
Go for the eyes! And she's blinded because Boo went for the eyes. This is a really fun build. Hopefully you enjoy it. And then you all get to play your Baldur's Gate 2 version of Minsc in Boo. I'm glad he said go for the eyes and that you got to see she was blinded when that happened. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this. And with any luck, Jim Cummings and Matt Mercer approve of this little fun build. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.